friends, welcome to the Point. So in this session we'll be discussing about lightning. So what is lightning? This is a topic from geography actually, but the reason for discussing this topic is recently near 29 to 30 people they have been killed due to lightning, which is a natural disaster in Bihar, India. So that is the reason we are discussing about this lightning. So this lightning strikes, it has caused around 1771 deaths between April 1st, 2019 and March 31st, 2020. So which is a major loss to humans' life. So we'll be discussing what is lightning, what is the impact of lightning, so how does it strike the earth and kill the people. Not only people, even the animals get suffered and they are being killed and injured due to this lightning. So talking about the deaths by this lightning, so lightning, it is the biggest contributor to accidental deaths due to natural calamities or natural causes. A few years ago, over 300 people, they were reportedly killed by this lightning in just 3 days. That is a number that surprised officials and even scientists. And yet this lightning remains among the least studied atmospheric phenomena in the country. So just one group of scientists at IITM, that is Indian Institute of Tropical Management in Pune, they work full time on these thunderstorms and lightning. So let's get into the topic. What is lightning? So lightning, it is a very rapid and a massive discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, so some of which is directed towards the earth's surface. So this discharged light or discharged electricity, they are generated in giant moisture bearing clouds that are 10 to 12 kilometers tall. The base of these clouds typically lies within 1 to 2 kilometers of the earth's surface, while their top is 12 to 13 kilometers away. So temperature towards the top of these clouds are in the range of minus 35 to minus 45 degrees Celsius. How does the lightning strikes? So as a water vapor, it moves upwards in the cloud. So imagine this is a cloud and the water vapor, it moves upwards in the cloud. The falling temperature, it causes it to condense. So there will be a decrease in temperature at that time. So it makes the water vapor to condense and the heat is generated in the process. So while this process, the heat is generated, so which pushes the molecules of water further up. So then the water vapor, it is pushed further up as they move to the temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. So as it moves, the temperature gets decreases. As the water vapor moves upwards in the clouds, its temperature gets reduced below 0 degrees Celsius. So at that time, the water droplets, those water droplets, they change into a small ice crystals and they continue to move up. While continuing to move up, they gather a mass until they are so heavy that they start to fall down to the earth back. So this leads to a system in which simultaneously smaller ice crystals are moving up and bigger ice crystals are coming down. So when the smaller ice crystals are moving up and bigger ice crystals are coming down, a collision takes place at that time. So and it triggers the release of electrons. When the collision happens between the smaller ice crystals and bigger crystals, a release of electron takes place, and this process you can observe that this is very similar to the generation of sparks of electricity. As a moving free electrons, it causes more collision and more electrons, that is like a chain reaction. So this process, it results in a situation in which the top layer of the cloud gets, at this time, the top layer of the clouds gets positively charged and the bottom layer of the cloud is negatively charged. The electrical potential difference between the two layers is very huge, of the order of a billion to about 10 billion volts, we can say. So in a very little time, a massive current of the order 1 lakh to million amperes start to flow between the layers. They flow between the layers and an enormous amount of heat is produced at this time, and this leads to the heating of air columns between the two layers of the cloud. Okay, heat is released and that heat produced, it heats up the air column between the two layers of the clouds. Between the two layers, the air gets heated up. And this heat gives the air column a reddish appearance during lightning. As the heated air column expands, it produces shock waves and that results in thunder. So there is a heat in air column and that heat, it gives a reddish appearance at the time of lightning. So, and the heated air column, if it expands, it produces a thunder sound. So this is how thunder and lightning is formed. So how does this current reach the earth from the cloud? That is how lightning strikes the earth's surface. So we know that the earth is a good conductor of electricity. So it is electrically neutral. However, when it is compared to the middle layer of the cloud, it becomes positively charged. And as a result of this, about 15 to 20% of the current gets directed towards the earth as well. It is this flow of current that results in damage to life and property on the earth. So there is a greater possibility of lightning striking tall objects like trees, towers and buildings, and this happens because air is a poor conductor of electricity. And electrons that are traveling through air, it seek both a better conductor and the shortest route to the relatively positively charged earth's surface. So if we see this picture, so bottom of the storm cloud becomes negatively charged. We know that, and the top of the cloud becomes positively charged. The surface of the earth, it gets positively charged. The charges alter air around the cloud, creating a potential lightning paths. As I have explained before, that the heated light, it shows a reddish appearance in the air column in the cloud, and the positively charged on the surface of the earth, it extends towards a negative charge, that is towards the clouds. And lightning is the completion of this path as nature tries to neutralize the extreme. So at this time, a shock wave passes, and any trees or animals or humans, when they get struck to this rising coming down charges, they get injured or even death to this lightning. How does lightning hit people or animals or birds or some other thing? So lightning, it rarely hits people directly, but such strikes are almost always fatal. So people are most commonly struck by what are called as ground currents. The electrical energy, after it hits a large object like a tree on the earth, it spreads laterally on the ground for around, imagine this is a tree. When the lightning strikes the tree, energy spreads to some distance, and people in this area, they receive electrical shocks. So it become more dangerous if the ground is wet, which is frequently and is because of the accompanying rain, and if there is a metal or other conducting material on it. So water is a conductor, and many people are struck by lightning while standing in floody paddy fields, or when it is raining heavily in the floody roads, people get struck by the lightning. So this is how people or animals or some other things on the earth, they get hit by the lightning. So this is a picture of a calf where it got struck by the lightning. So predicting a thunderstorm over a pinpointed location, it is not possible. Nor is it possible to predict the exact time of a likely lightning strike. So it is we can't predict, or the scientists can't predict the exact location where the thunderstorm or the lightning is going to hit, or they can't even predict the exact time when this lightning will get struck on the earth. So instead of that, precautions can be taken, like the things which we knew, that a taller objects get hit by the lightning first. So we can avoid taking shelter under a tree, lying on the flat ground too. It increases the risk, and people should move indoors in a storm. However, even indoors they should avoid touching electrical fittings, wires, metals and water. So this is the way they can prevent themselves from the lightning. So this is about lightning and what are the precautions we can take. So in the prelims point of view, we should know what is lightning, how does it strikes the earth, is earth a good conductor of electricity or what are the types of clouds. So these are the things we should point out, or we should follow up from the prelims point of view. So see you all in the next session with some other interesting topic. Thank you.